Farmers and hunters have reported finding boxes of Lone Star ticks across their properties. They move 3 times faster than the average tick, and it carries a substance called alpha-gal. Shortly after you've been bitten, you get what's called alpha-gal syndrome, which makes you permanently allergic to all red meat. In 2009, there was only a few dozen cases. And in 2026, the CDC announced we have around 450,000 cases. It's a 100x increase since 2013. Now, mainstream news is telling you this increase is from climate change and rising deer populations, but I don't know if that's the truth. Recent tick bite ER visits are off the charts. Now, this is where it starts becoming suspicious. Bill Gates has funded research into a bio company named Oxitec to genetically modify ticks. Another connection is that he is heavily invested in plant-based meat companies called Impossible Food and Nature's Find. This would force everyone that has alpha-gal syndrome and wanted their red meat fix to buy his product. In a published peer-reviewed bioethics journal, they argue we should genetically engineer ticks to make people allergic to meat. In the article it says, we argue that if eating meat is morally impermissible, then efforts to prevent the spread of tick-borne AGS are also morally impermissible. Then right below it says tick-borne AGS is a moral bioenhancer if and when it motivates people to stop eating meat. And at the top of the article it says beneficial blood-sucking. Also, here is a World Economic Forum linked bioethicist, and he calls for genetically modifying humans to induce meat intolerance.
So for example, I have milk intolerance, and some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
Here's a map of all the hot spots that these Lone Star ticks reside in, and it's mainly in the southeast regions. So if you know anyone in these specific areas that have land, wilderness, ask them about the tick increase, and I guarantee you they'll tell you that it's more than they've seen in previous years. This isn't anything new. The CIA has declassified documents that they weaponized and released infected ticks over sugar fields in Cuba back in the day under President Kennedy. You also have Plum Island, which was a top-secret animal biological warfare lab, which is where Lyme disease came out of in the 70s. From what I've read, these ticks don't like lavender, peppermint, and a synthetic insecticide called permethrin.
So farmers are reporting finding boxes of ticks on their land, and they don't know where they came from. Now, a lot of people are saying that is very weird and kind of creepy, and of course it is. But I am putting 2 and 2 together because Pfizer is going to be coming out with a Lyme's disease pretty soon. So that is very interesting. What that tells me is that we may have a very, very bad season for ticks. And I'm not sure where these ticks came from. If they're being dropped off in boxes, they're not natural ticks. So who knows what's on them? I don't know. But is this another way for the people that run society to get us diseased up and sick? I think it could possibly be, but again, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Love you all, my opinion.
I have a clue who these people are or what they're doing, but they're on our fucking top field. Who the fuck? What are y'all even doing? Oh, no, not you. That's what this Fuck. Literally, in our top field. Oh, there they go.
Crazy.
And ticks. Watch that thing.
The tick thing is nuts.
Yeah,
especially
because of meat, because of Gates.
Well, there's
Bill
boxes
Gates,
people
mad.
are finding. I don't know if this is true because I've seen many reports on it, but I'm just going to say what I saw. That farmers and ranchers are finding boxes of ticks on their property. Now, I don't know if that's fake.
I
I don't
don't
know if
either.
someone's setting that up to pretend they found these boxes of ticks, but there's videos of these people finding boxes of ticks.
Now, what they'll say is they'll probably say they're sterile ticks and that we're planting them out there so we can diminish the population, is what they'll say. But anytime they try to mess with the balance of nature, it never goes right.
Is that what they're saying? This is
No,
where
but
you
just get
hearing that
ready.
from?
That's
That's what
you're
you think?
getting it right here.
I don't believe you have a right to go to someone's
I don't-
property
no
and drop
way.
off sterile ticks.
No way in hell.
That's crazy either way. But I have a good friend of mine who got bit by the Lone Star tick and has that alpha gal problem.
Yeah, a guy came out of my house yesterday looking at putting gutters up at our house. And he said, and I said, you did what? He goes, yeah, I can't eat any meat produced by a mammal.
Yes.
I was like,
yeah.
just-
So my buddy, he had it, and my friend Evan, so he had it for a little while, and then he did a bunch of treatments and got off of it and then started eating steak again. And he was fine for about a year and a half, and then it came back stronger than ever. And he just can't shake it.
It's
He
been
can't
around
shake
that long.
it.
See,
Oh,
I-
yeah. He can only eat eggs. I mean, he's basically eating eggs and vegetables. That's all he's eating. And every time he tries to deviate, he has a horrible reaction. It makes, for people that don't know, it makes your body allergic to red meat.
right. And who has got genetically made meat now?
Yeah. Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, well, they're doing things with mosquitoes, and they're messing around with nature in a way that no one's given you permission to. The general public does not want you doing this.
So the idea is we get rid of farmers, we kill any naturally grown food, and we engineer food in manufacturing plants and laboratories. But I assure you that those guys are not eating this.
Bill Gates is one of the familiar corporate faces, and he's investing heavily in the food revolution under the guise of avoiding climate disaster.
Cows alone account for about 6% of global emissions. So we need to change cows.
And while he talks up the perceived problem, Gates is pouring money into the supposed solution: artificial meat and genetically modified crops. Crucially, anything that is invented or altered can be patented.
The core of his agenda is he wants to do in agriculture and pharmaceuticals, by the way, what he did in the computer world. True power, massive, incalculable wealth comes from owning intellectual property and then monopolizing it. They want to make it so that every single organism that is used for food is ultimately under their control, either through the 3D printing or through this genetic manipulation. So we're moving now very rapidly toward this totally centralized food system where a tiny handful of corporate interests in bed with totalitarian government will dominate the food supply so that there is only a giant public-private partnership with total control of all food, all energy, and I believe water will be next.
While the global machinations continue, thousands of farmers fear for their livelihoods. And the new UK government's first budget has multiplied those fears. By reducing relief on inheritance tax, they're penalising those who would want to pass their farms to sons or daughters. The National Farmers Union described it as
a disastrous budget
for family farms that would
snatch away the next generation's ability to carry on producing British food and see farmers forced to sell land to pay the tax.
Bill Gates buying up all
farmland
of the farmland.
Yeah, that's
because
control the food.
Not only control the food, it's deeper. These ninjas, white ninjas, have come up with a technology that is, I think they call it RNA resistant crop. Not GMO no more. GMO, it don't grow again. You feel me? You grow one time, it decimates the soil, it's dead. GMO was cancer for soil.
Mm-hmm.
This RNA resistant crop, you are able to engineer the seed to search and destroy a certain type of genetic composition. They can make a seed that will target black people So when you ingest the fruit and vegetable, it automatically goes to attack on your immune system. Damn. Imagine putting the AIDS virus in your food.
In 2020, an exclusive organisation for the world's most powerful people, called Stakeholders, enacted a 10-year transition to a global authoritarian political system called stakeholder capitalism.
It's a funeral of shareholder capitalism, and it's a birth of stakeholder capitalism.
You have shown us the way forward.
One of their agendas by 2030 is to own the food supply chain.
Bill Gates became the largest individual owner of farmland.
According to their reports, this is what they want us to eat.
GMO wheat, every piece of corn I've ever eaten is GMO corn. So these are things that billions of years of using these products have been done. Anyway, these are proven products.
The stakeholders have an initiative to ban livestock.
Cows alone account for about 6% of global emissions. So we need to change cows.
And increase our consumption of
artificial meat, like Impossible or Beyond Meat, both of which I invested in.
We'll have the convenience of printing it from our homes.
When Bill Gates says he wants to control population, he wants to reduce population, when the entire purpose of the discussion around climate change is there's too many people. You are a disease on this planet, is what they have told us. You are not created in the image and likeness of God. Get that out of your head. God had nothing to do with it. You are the disease. You are the worst thing that happened to this planet. The plants are more important than you. The animals are more important than you. You are disgusting. You are gross. You are stupid. You must be governed. We need to make your decisions for you. We're going to inject you like farm animals. You're not going to get any choice. This is about adult vaccines that you can't avoid. This is about childhood vaccines that you can't avoid. That is how they are treating us. That is how they think of us. And we have to ask ourselves, are we going to put up with that any longer? No!
We have farmers. I love farmers. I won 80%, 85% of the farmers, and I love them, and I'm never going to do anything to hurt our farmers.
We've got a real disaster with this tariff deal. The outlook is so bleak financially.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now.
Right now, it's predicted soybean farmers can lose $200 or more per acre on this crop. A farmer like myself, we have 1,200 acres of soybeans. That's $240,000 of loss.
It's going to be tough to get some of that business back that we're losing. Retaliatory tariffs has caused us to be less competitive in the global marketplace.
The way things are, there won't be a farmer left in 5 years if things don't change because our expenses are so high. We would a lot rather have free markets than a handout.
I want to give a shout out and a big thank you to the big corporations for not paying farmers a fair price for their crops. So far this year, I have not sold a single kernel of corn to the big corporations that buy nearly all the corn in the United States. I sold them zero. I've sold all of it direct to deer hunters and cattle farmers. I've ground into cornmeal, I've ground into grits. That bin is getting mighty low. I sold zero to you, corporate America. I'm selling it all direct, and I'm making a lot more money doing it that way. With my peanuts, they tanked the price of peanuts earlier this year. We normally get about $600 a ton or $500 a ton, somewhere in that range. In the 1980s, we got $750 to $800 a ton. Right now, the big corporations are paying peanut farmers $380 a ton for peanuts when we were getting $700 in the 1980s. It is slam ridiculous. It is a shame, and something needs to be done about it. And what I personally am doing about it, I started selling peanut brittle made from my peanuts right here on this farm. We are within 20 bags of selling out. We've been selling peanut brittle, I think, for 4 days now. We prepared the amount we thought it would take us through the holidays to sell. We sold it in 4 days. We sold peanut brittle all over this entire country. We unlocked international shipping this morning online, and we're selling it worldwide. Peanut brittle from this farm out to folks like you, because corporate America wouldn't give us a price we deserve for our crops, so we just cut them out of the loop. They're no longer getting a piece. It's straight from me to you.
But some folks who aren't feeling Trump's optimism right now are American farmers, and they are stuck in the middle of all of this.
Frank, who did you vote for president?
Mr. Trump.
Right?
Trump. Mr. Trump.
If the election were today, Frank, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No way. Couldn't happen. No.
You voted for President Trump. So now, in this moment, you say you're in a free fall. What is your message to him?
So I'm off the Trump train. Where I'm going for now is I got to protect my business.
A wheat farmer who says he's lost $400,000 since Trump took office.
I think there was a lot of people who voted for him that want to stay loyal to him, but it's going to get to the point where financially, if it's between supporting the president or losing your family farm.
You voted for the president?
Yes, I did.
And do you support these policies which might be hurting farmers like you?
Right now, we're the ones that are taking the hit.
I think he's sort of backstabbing the main people who got him into office in the Midwest, and he just left us down.
Billionaires aren't even trying to hide it from you anymore, that they just want to control all the food. The most diabolically evil quotes in modern history start with the man himself, Mr. Bill Gates. Bill Gates, who's a heavy ag tech investor, has gone on record multiple times advocating for GMOs that lock farmers into annual purchase cycles. Earl Butz was the US Agriculture Secretary, and many believe he was the founding father of industrial agriculture. To all the small farmers, he said, "Get big or get out," and since then we've lost millions of small family farms. Ted Turner is a media billionaire and a huge land and bison owner who said this: a total world population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from present levels would be ideal. David Rockefeller was a banker and funded the Green Revolution and said worse: we are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis and the nations will accept the new world order. And finally, Henry Kissinger didn't say this as malice or threat, but rather commentary of how these all think. Control oil and you control nations, but control food and you control the people.